I am looking at the drugs.
Jonathan Tweet came along, and Jonathan Tweet's like, the D20, that's a good die. And he wasn't wrong. It is a good die.
It is. I wanted to take your guys' temperature on something I ran into a while back. We were playing D20 Modern with like this mech suit like splat book. And one of the things that got everyone really excited, but I just really didn't see the point of it, was they were like, oh man, a battleship cannon does a D20 worth of damage. It's like, okay, so you shoot the damn thing and then you get a 1? Like that's exciting? No, that's horrible. That would be terrible. Give me a bunch of D12s. Give me a 5D12 on a fucking.
I was gonna say, or better. I would take better than that. How about 4D6? I'd go with that.
4D6.
Well, you need something bigger. It's I played a decent amount of. Well, it wasn't a decent amount, but we basically modded a 3.5 edition and we ported it over to D20 Modern. It was fun. I mean, the amount of things we did. There was just a lot of mecha involved. We were making our own mecha. Like I basically made a Cyclone from Robotech.
Nice.
Yeah. And we fought at one point we had a 3-headed dragon mecha. And there's a lot of weird stuff that you can do with it. It's a fun system.
This is also me stealthily mentioning that I'm really interested in running Beam Saber in the Dark, I think it's called. There is a mecha version of Blades in the Dark that I want to try because I like the idea of using the Forged in the Dark, like the downtime system, and like have it in like an intergalactic war with. That's easy. Your missions are like, you're a special group, da da da. But
honestly,
anyway.
Brett, it sounds like you just want to play BattleTech.
I mean, either that or I keep wanting to get into Lancer, but I feel like anytime I try to look up a video of like, here's how to play Lancer, it starts to bore me within like the first couple minutes before they even get to like the actual like mechanics. It feels like there's no like, all right, here we go, jump in.
Who wants to watch a bunch of beardos just hemming and hawing for 4.5 hours in order to...
Exactly. Who would ever listen to that?
Who wants to listen to a bunch of beardos hemming and hawing on the internet for a couple of hours at a stretch?
I'm clean shaven.
Oh.
All right.
Don't worry. I got enough beer for the both of us.
Yeah, well, I'm not, so there you go.
Wait, you're not keeping your beard?
No, I don't keep my beard. Thanks. My neck beard,
Great.
That's the best beard.
Best of
exactly.
My ear beards.
All right. Shall we Cities Without Number session 0?
Yes.
Can I name my character Earbeard?
I'd prefer not, but I won't thwart you if you insist.
Slab Earbeard.
What are we playing, Rob?
This is Cities Without Number. It's the newest game in the Without Number series in a cyberpunk setting. The origin for me was I have never run a cyberpunk game. I've only played one of the original cyberpunk. I got an urge to do the genre. I poked around from some different games, and this is what I settled on. I hope it's good. It's old school types. You're going to have strength, dex, constitution, and so on. It's set in your fairly generic cyberpunky setting and some indeterminate part in the future. One twist, there's no shared multiverse on the metaverse, I'm sorry, is the word I'm looking for. If you want to hack into something, you pretty much have to get into physical proximity to it. One important thing to note about just the rules and the feel of the game, it is very easy to die. Like, being shot can kill you, as unrealistic as that may seem. So that may inform your decisions as you go through places. Standing and fighting everybody you run into is probably fatal. So sneaking and distractions and strategery are pretty good things. Does everybody have the character sheet ready?
I do.
Yes.
I also do.
And then does everyone have the free and legal version of the rule book? Because it works a lot easier if you can scroll along with me to look at the various charts.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Not only is it free and legal, but the damn thing is hyperlinked.
Yes.
Oh.
And the free version really does have enough to play the game. I bought the for money version. It has some extra stuff, but it's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, I'm impressed that they gave this away for free. I don't know if it's a permanent thing or whatever, but like this is a full-fledged game without it. So props to the authors.
And it's
I
hyperlinked.
I was expecting like, okay, this is probably going to be like a 30-page like
Me too.
PDF of just nope, 224.
Yep.
Okay, so scroll to page 5, please, because that's where we start our character creation.
Bingo.
And at various points, you'll have the option of making choices or rolling dice on charts and letting fate decide your character. So if you have a vision of what you want to be, you can do more selecting. If you want to let randomness rule for a while, you can do that. Once we get through the first few steps, though, there are things where you make choices and you can, let those random things inform that if you want. So first of all, it's our super familiar attributes: strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. If you want to choose your attributes, you can allocate, it shows on page 5, 14, 12, 11, 10, 9, and 7. You can put them where you want. You can roll 3d6 in order, or I've decided, this isn't in the rules, I've decided you can roll 6 numbers and assign them as you want. So kind of a mid-range.
Okay, gotcha.
And fun twist, if you really suck and you end up with a net negative modifiers, when you add all the modifiers together, you do get an extra bonus down the way. A consolation prize for sucking and sticking with it.
How do I know what I want to be though? Like,
Good point. Think of all the different types of things you might do in a cyberpunk game you can work toward. You can be the tough guy, you can be the hacker, you can be a sneaky person, you can be a face.
maybe I'll assign them later once I have a better idea about what other people are choosing, and I'll kind of fill in the blank there.
Sure, and it's okay if there's some redundancy. We don't always all show up at the same time, and you can pick different edges and foci that will really distinguish your character more down the road.
Oh, background. Maybe that'll help. I'm looking
I
ahead.
am suddenly extremely. Listen to this array that I just got: 3, 7, 12, 13, 12, 5. So if I'm doing my math right, that's -2, -1 for -3.
And no pluses.
0, 0, 0, 0. Oh, and then -1 for charisma as well, for a total of -4. So even if I swap one of these out with a 14,
which you can do, that's right.
I think I'd still okay. So
if you're willing to stick with that, you will get an extra edge down the road, which can be pretty powerful.
But I also read I'm also not able to increase my attributes anymore.
With
right?
XP, that's true. You can use cyberware to increase attributes, but you can't use, if you take that underdog option, right? You can't use experience points down the road to boost your attributes.
You know what? I'm hitting the button. I'm gonna play an underdog.
All right.
Now I'm not gonna. I did swap out my 3 for a 14, but I still end up with a net negative.
That's a good point that I didn't say. If you roll, you have the option of changing one of your attributes to a 14.
I ended up, however, with a net positive.
Oh, well
I ended
done.
up rolling a 9, 17 on Dex, an 8 for Constitution, an 11 on Intelligence. I think I rolled a 10 on Wisdom, which I bumped up to a 14, and Charisma an 11. So I did all right.
Well done.
But I have no idea what I'm going to be. I'm just going to roll D20.
All right. And then who's Garrett? Do you have your attributes attributed?
I did surprisingly well. Yeah, we'll just run with it. Yeah, I got a 14, a 10, a 16, a 16, a 9, and a 15.
Wow.
Nice.
Good day. It was a good day.
Okay. And Jenny, how about you?
Nice run.
I'm kind of with Damon at the moment. I'm still sort of trying to figure out what it is I want to do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote mine in. I decided, I looked ahead, I'm going to be a corper. So I gave myself my highest scores in intelligence and charisma.
Okay.
And my lowest scores are in constitution and wisdom.
Well,
right.
I'm just going to roll a D20 and be damned and see what the hell it's going
That
to be.
seems to make sense.
Okay, you can hold that for a sec, Jenny, and let's scroll down to page 7. They describe the skills, which you can refer back to as we go, and I'll describe skills in a bit. But first, you can choose or roll a background at the bottom of page 7. And this is maybe what you grew up intending to do or being stuck likely to do, and probably what you would be doing if you hadn't turned at some point to a life of crime, plus or minus. And so you can choose, just scan through them, and in the following pages in alphabetical order, they give more, they flesh each of them out a little bit. You could choose, or you can just roll.
I'm gonna roll.
All right. Corper.
I'm a laborer.
Laborer for column. I heard Corper,
Interesting.
Damon picked.
Yep.
My background is in clergy.
Ooh.
What?
Whether
Right.
formal or informal. So for Corper, there are, and I didn't want to overwhelm you with an encyclopedia, and I'm still picking some things out, but there are many megacorps that you could have been a part of. Clergy, if there's a religion you can think of, it's probably something like it exists in the world, and it could be descended from something that exists today or something completely new. So you can define clergy as broadly as you want in your background.
I can also cheat and just roll again if I
You don't want to be.
know if I'm really
I
interested.
don't
Yeah.
feel, especially for background, don't feel like you're stuck with what you roll. This is more for
Yeah.
inspiration. I was thinking like a Reverend Lovejoy type, though.
I
I
need to be
actually
a snake oil salesman.
I was considering that as a switch, but I still was like, I've got a similar thing going on. Now I actually was interested in the manager background before,
Mhm.
but now here it is before me. I rolled and I got a 13, so I'm
Nice.
going to take the manager background.
Excellent. Jenny, did you pick or do you want to roll?
No, I have picked. I was really going to try to go for the streetwalker thing, but then I'm like, nah, too much like silver. So I'm going to be a spy.
Spy is cool. Who am I missing with?
Performer.
Ooh,
Cameron.
great. Okay.
I almost picked that for myself. Good one. Good on you.
I rolled it. I think I'm just gonna stick with it.
Well done.
Cool. And again, performer very broadly defined. Could be an in-person street musician or a prominent recording artist or all points in between. Now, you've each gotten your background. You can scroll down, again, alphabetically to find yours in the pages that follow. And then you're going to have choices to make or rolls to make to determine what you get based on that background. That could be skills. It could be attribute bumps, except for one particular underdog. Let's talk about skills just briefly. When you take a skill for the first time, you get it at level 0, which sounds kind of crappy, but it actually is pretty good. When you do skill checks, you roll 2 dice, add the relevant attribute modifier, so strength +1 or whatever, plus your skill level. But in most cases, if you try to do something you don't have a skill for, you actually take a minus on it.
Yeah.
That's the first good thing about having skill level 0. You don't take the minus. The second good thing is it's assumed that you can do things at a basic level. So if you do some basic element of programming and you have program 0, you don't have to roll for it. We know that you're enough of a professional. You can do that basic stuff. You're only going to roll for something above and beyond. So it opens up that door for you to be able to just do those things. And then if you take a skill for the second time in character creation, it bumps up to level 1. That's the highest you can have a skill coming out of character creation.
Okay.
So here's how you get to decide. You get a free skill. Like I'm looking at Bum, that gets Survive 0. Everybody should have a free skill. And on your character sheet, skills are top center. So as you get a skill, you can write a 0 in or just tick it once in case you might add more later, which you might. Then you can either pick 2 other skills that you see on the learning table, or you can roll 3 times on any combination of the growth or learning chart if you want to randomize it. On the growth chart, you roll a d6. On the learning chart, you roll a d8. So by going random, you get an extra something. It may not be the something you want. And finally, if you don't want to think, each of them has a quick skills. It gives you 2 skills that fit well with this. So Bum gets Connect 0 and Sneak 0, for example. And you don't have to pick up front. You could do 1. Oh, I got the one I want. Now I'll try growth.
You're right.
Like that. If anybody has a question about what any particular skill means, you can scroll up to page 6 or ask me, and I can scroll up to page 6 and tell you more.
So if I get the same skill that I've already got, it goes up a level?
It goes up to
Yes.
1.
Okay.
If anytime you get a thing that would make you go over level 1, you can instead choose any other skill in its place.
Oh, I think I'll do that.
And any combat means stab, shoot, or punch.
Right.
And by the way, when I'm saying page numbers, I'm saying the page numbers on the book, not on the PDF, because those, of course, are different.
Science has not quite figured out how to solve that problem yet.
Because I don't think there is a solution.
Mm-mm.
It's like quantum mechanics, man.
I just went with quick skills, so they seem to fit. They fit the laborer, so I'll just go
Mhm.
with them.
Work and fix. That makes sense.
I ended up picking a bunch of new skills. I took drive, shoot, and program as additional skills.
Oh, very nice.
Nice. I was able to bump my administer up to level 1. I picked shoot for 0 and trade for 0. So that's pretty neat.
Cool.
Sorry, it completely crashed. I've been asking the same question for like the past 5 minutes, and why nobody.
Oh, no.
We're such jerks. We were ignoring you.
We're ignoring you because you're a girl.
Well, I figured that was probably what it was. But in this game, I'm also a girl, so you can ignore me. But
Okay. What was your question, Jenny? Now that we have you.
That's okay because I'm a spy and you're supposed to ignore me. It's that thing. All right. My question was, so let's say I roll like a 4 on my particular growth table, which means it's a +2 physical. I guess this is probably obvious, but what's
Nope.
mental versus a physical skill?
Yeah. So good. No, that is a great question. Physical will be strength, dex, constitution. The other mental will be charisma,
Ooh.
intelligence, wisdom. And when you get the +2, you have the choice. You could put, say, if you rolled +2 physical, you could say, okay, I'm going to add 2 to my strength attribute, or I could do 1 strength, 1 dex, or whatever combination you want.
Thank you. That helps a great deal.
Okay. And Garrett, do you have your skills selected?
No, not really. I'm fighting my computer right now.
Stupid technology. Ironical for a cyberpunk game.
Yeah.
I'll take the quick ones.
Okay. They make sense. And I'll say, looking at the skills and the sorts of things I have in mind, none of them are useless skills.
Sure.
There will be room for all of them to operate.
Except for work.
Except for work. Wait, what? Yeah, when you pick work, pick a particular profession, such as lawyering, stevedore, painting, or some other career, it says. And we can define a skill set broadly based around that work. Don't think of it as too particular.
I mean, can my megacorp be Amazon?
No, they'll be all new corporations.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this I know. In the real world. And once everybody has their skills done, you can scroll down and start looking at contacts on page 14.
There's also a really fun, if you want a more robust roll table for the contacts, there is one on page 15. It looks like it is your classic roll every single goddamn dice and then mad lib the sentence together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with contacts, you can think about the kind of person you'd want, or you can do the 2d20 on page 14, or page 15. You're going to roll a d4, a d6, a d8, a d10, a d12, and a d20, and that will give you the story of a contact. And those of you working on that, you get to pick either one like close friend or 2 acquaintances. So the friend, one is fewer, but a friend is more willing to help you and work with you.
I rolled 2 random contacts.
Yep, doing that too.
I have Skim Chip Shop. He's a reliable criminal fixer. I will work on the rest later. And Clarence Portnoy, a thrill-seeking corpse scientist.
Ooh.
Are you making up those names? Because they're kind of awesome.
Yeah, of course I'm making them up.
Well,
Did you download Damon's new baby name generator app?
Oh, would you like to know what my character's name is?
I would.
Plug Crankcase.
Nice.
Of course it is.
Plug Crankcase?
Plug Crankcase.
Love it.
Yeah, he's going to be amazing.
Excellent. Okay.
I want to do a baby name generator app that is just like Damon style character names, which I think were taken from that MST3K.
Yeah,
episode.
that's the style it comes from that. Yeah, I haven't copied other than the very first one, Slab Bulkhead, which I thought was fun. I have just copied that style. I think I even told you in an email or somebody, like, it reminds me of, like, growing up as kids, we came up with, like, a formula for insulting people. And it was food plus body part was the formula. So you'd say something like, you'd call, like, hey, Rob, taco teeth. Or whatever. And so for some reason, this, like, naming thing, like hits the same spot for me, like that as a kid. And I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Okay, are people rolling contacts, or has everybody rolled contacts? Are they pondering the implications of the contacts?
Never.
Slug Hapworth, who is a popular drug deal, and we met when I disposed of blackmail material for him. And then we have Vita Sly, who is a dealer in restricted goods, and I did work for her in a crisis situation.
Great. Okay. Oh, this gives me a lot to work with, which is one of the things I like in this game. There's a lot of cool, like, choose or random inspiration type things that really help flesh things out quickly. More so, I think, in the world building section.
I also did the growth and learning thing, but I don't know if you really need to know all that right now.
Any skills you want to highlight?
Yeah, I mean, I already had a sneak skill as a spy, and I managed to get 2 8s on the learning table, which was great. So I have 1 in notice and 1 in connect.
Cool.
Or 0 in all of those. So sneak, connect, notice. And then I rolled on the growth table and got the +2 physical.
Ooh, nice.
So I added that to my dexterity.
That'll be good for sneaking, say.
All right, so I've got my contacts, both of them acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
I have a shop who fences goods. I knew them growing up. And Scott Bleeker, a street arms dealer, some sort of blood relation.
Nice. Okay. Garrett, do you have your contacts?
I got 1.
Okay. And you are allowed to pick just one who's going to be closer and more reliable and willing to help if you want to stop there.
I've got my friend if you guys like to hear about him.
Oh, yeah.
So my friend is Ronnie Flatwaffle, and the big thing that he's my friend. We actually knew each other when we were young, but we didn't really meet within the circumstances of like being an operator. But I got sent to him through a fixer that we both knew, and now he's a driver, so he can drive me around or loan me a vehicle. And this is all because he owes me a big favor for something I did for him back in the day. Last time I hung out with him, we had a shared payday and just got fucking crazy. So yeah.
Cool. And Garrett, who's your friend or first acquaintance, depending on how you're doing it?
My first acquaintance is Cletus Cooter. He's a Badlander, a ruralist.
Ooh,
nice.
I've known him since I was a kid. And we hit it off at the old bar back in the stick. I got old man Stinky Britches to get off his ass. So in return, he helps find people who can't be found. He's got a nose for it.
Excellent.
We'll work on the second one.
Yeah, your names are totally fitting into my sort of cyberpunk noir concept. That's great. It's okay. It's okay. It'll be fun.
Oh, I actually randomized my 2 contacts, so I'll go with this. Because this is quite interesting, because it's worked out quite well. Skim Chip Shop is a reliable criminal fixer. I saved them from a building collapse, which is good because I'm a laborer. They can maintain and fix gear, and they like me because they have use for my skills. And then Clarence Portnoy, who is a thrill-seeking corporate scion, I met while working on his building. He has an addiction to heights, which is I'll go into later. He can get me the inside line on a local corp, and he owes me a big favor.
Nice. Next is where it gets wild. We get to edges, starting on page 16.
Densest character sheet ever.
I don't know. I've seen beefier.
Yeah. And there's like lots of room for stuff like cyberware. Some of you might end up with a lot. Some might start with 1 or 0 things. Focuses, you only start with 1, but there's 7 slots to expand into. So yeah, you won't be filling up everything here. Don't worry. All right. Edges. Now that's where your PC came from, your background. But where are they now? What special talents or aptitudes that they have that make them a viable operator? From these edges, you're going to pick 2, asterisk, 3 for anybody using the underdog rule, i.e. Brent.
We get 2 edges?
You each get 2, yep.
Okay.
And Brent, because of underdog rule, can take 3. And if you are coming in thinking, great, it's a cyberpunk game, I'm going to have a lot of cyber stuff attached to me, look at the wired attribute. You get a bunch of stuff right off the bat. If you're thinking, hey, great, it's a cyberpunk game, I want to hack into computers, take a look at hacker.
Oh yeah, I'm getting wired.
You're going to wire your mouth shut?
Oh yeah.
Nice. That's a bold move. Oh, you could have a vocalizer. You can change your voice to whatever you want. Ooh.
I tried to come into this game as like blink as possible, but like I've got this idea in my head of like this guy who wears like a suit, like cybernetics, and then also has like what looks like a motorcycle helmet, and then the visor is like essentially a screen that like just plays different things instead of speaking.
Hey, oh, there you go.
Oh wow.
So I think I'll go ahead and take that wired and maybe help with my poor intelligence, because that might not work out the way that I want it to.
My edges are themed, both of them. I figure I just like the idea of this character is just, he's a corper. He's had this stupid job, but he's just insanely lucky. Nice. So one edge is operator's fortune, and the other edge is veteran's luck.
Nice.
I picked masterful expertise and operator's fortune. Operator's fortune's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got a good chat. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Oh, masterful expertise. Ooh.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really picture myself being a combatant, actually. I didn't even see that one. Oh, man, that seems weird to take the same too, but that's what I wanted to do. You think, is that a problem?
No, I don't think it matters if we pick the same thing.
Oh, that's totally fine. Yeah. I mean, there aren't that many in the scope of things. Yeah. No, the veteran's luck, the ability to ignore a hit, is kind of useful if you're not super good at a combat sort of thing. I mean, you're not really a veteran, but we can think of it as something different.
Right. Well, again, just lucky.
Yeah.
But I don't really picture being in combat that much. I think, again, like, I was thinking lucky in terms of, like, life choices or advancements and, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, masterful expertise fits better.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's fun. I like that.
Anybody else have their choices?
I do. I chose Ghost, obviously, which is, I don't know, I think that's pretty nice. I gain Sneak as a bonus skill, which means I get a +1 Sneak instead of 0. So that's kind of nice. And because I'm a spy, I was thinking that there's a lot of really cool edges here, but I decided I would go ahead with Hacker. And it looks like I begin the game with all sorts of cool stuff that I'm going to learn about later.
Yeah. So in your cyberware, you can write on the top line cranial jack.
Ooh.
And that means, so you've got a few different ways to hack. You can have the cranial jack that actually you plug into a port on the computer you're hacking. That's the best way. There's a neural mesh that you still connect into your target, but it just kind of like sends signals into your brain. It doesn't connect directly in. That works, but you get a minus. And there's some remote line of sight things you can do to hack, which is the worst of all. So cranial jack allows you to do the best kind of hacking of all. So that's pretty sweet.
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what a focus is? Is it sort of like, I'm trying to look ahead just based off of the focused edge.
Yeah. So focuses, there's a lot more variety here, and this is like even more wild cardy in some ways than the edge. There's a lot of different stuff there. Choosing more of those is nice. So yeah, you're looking at focused, which gives you, everybody gets 1 focus usually. This would get you a second, which could be a different one or the second level of the one you pick first.
Oh, that rules. Okay, cool. Yeah. So on top of wired, I also took hard to kill. So when I roll for hit points, it's going to be a little bit better for me, and I'll keep a pin in that for when we do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go ahead and pick up focused. I've decided that just looking ahead, I am deeply in love with I think there's a henchmanship focus. Henchkeeper. Yeah. I'm gonna be a henchkeeper. I'm gonna have just a little group of little
feel the sting of the monarch. Feel the sting of the monarch.
Feel the sting of the mighty monarch.
Yes.
We must return to the teat of hatred that nursed us like so much butterfly-themed Romulus and Remus.
He said Garrett, I was to have sex, whatever the hell that was.
Garrett, do you have your edges?
I think I'm just going to go with face and on target.
Okay.
So hopefully I can brawl a little bit and get us into some shit.
Yes, those are going to be helpful things too. And face is connect as a bonus skill, and you can have 1 temporary acquaintance contact of your choice. Cool. So you know people is the gist. All right, I think I've heard everybody's now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so that takes the focus, which starts on page 18. The actual list starts on page 19. Everybody gets 1, except if you pick the focused edge, you get 2, or take the second level of the first one.
That's going to be both levels of henchkeeper. Thank you very much. I'm going to have a private army, essentially.
Hmm.
I just realized I'm going to be playing a supervillain. Okay, cool.
Villainy is in the eye of the beholder. Except sometimes. Sometimes just plain villainy.
Oh my god. Okay, this is great. Okay, so I've been playing around. I'm like, I've got like I'm already level 1 with administer is one of my skills. Like admin. So my name is Admen. ADMA or MEN. Admen.
I'm worried about the parents of the future.
And my henchmen are called they're yes men.
Nice.
This rules. Okay, I'm going to grab the basic corp security stat block from page 186. It looks like, how many of these little friends do I get?
You can have one henchman at a time for every 3 character levels you have rounded up. You can release them with no hard feelings at any time. So it looks like you'll get you can use more conventional pay or inducements to acquire additional henchmen. Okay. But mainly you have one like lead henchman wherever you go, or however you want to work that.
Got my own little 24 over here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect.
I think it's technically an intern. Does anybody else have either a focus or a question about a focus?
This is hard.
I know
Yeah.
there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
The unregistered is very intriguing to somebody who is going to be a spy, but it doesn't really look like it gives you anything tangible on your sheet.
You would just write unregistered as a focus, but then nobody has records associated with you, so that makes it harder for corporate security or such law as it remains to do anything about you or track you. It fits the character, but I leave it up to you, of course.
Yeah, I'm not sure I love that one. I mean, Many Faces is cool too.
I was just looking at that and I was about to mention it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can have a false identity. Oh, you get sneak again, but you would actually pick something different as a bonus skill since you're maxed.
I'm noticing that like all natural doesn't even come with but you get other bonuses as you go up. I see. That's interesting. I guess I'll take expert programmer.
Cool. So you get program as a bonus skill. Okay, so you'll get some verbs and subjects too in the hacker language when we get to that point.
Instead of taking a bonus skill, may I up one of my current ones to 1?
Oh, yeah. That totally works. Yep. Colin, what did you take? Or did you take one yet?
I took alert.
Oh, you said that right off the bat. You were alert for alert.
Can't be surprised or execution attacked, and
nice.
Group initiative rolls. We can roll twice and take the higher.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's what I figured. I'm just going all out on the good construction worker here.
Garrett, did you have one?
Close combatant, I think, was going to be. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with that.
Nice. All right, that takes us through focus.
So are we at level 1 for our foci or 0?
Level 1, the focus is at level 1 or 2. So you start off at level 1. Different than skills, a little weird, but okay. Now this is arguably the most disturbing part of the game. Hit points. You have 1d6 plus your Constitution modifier with a minimum of 1. I think I'm going to say a minimum of 2, just because 1 feels so sad. Whoever took hard to kill though has plus 2 in addition to their Constitution modifier.
I rolled a 4.
Ooh.
And my Constitution modifier is 0. So.
Oh gosh, I rolled a 1. I have a -1 at my Constitution. I am dead.
No, you're you die in character creation. All right.
Oh man, does that mean that you like?
I'm making they say it's a minimum of 1. I'm making it a minimum of 2.
All right.
So you can at least
2 hit
be
points.
punched once.
So I rolled a 5,
mm-hmm.
and my Constitution modifier is 1.
So 6.
So 6 hit points. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here.
So I took the hard to kill edge.
Yep. So you get the plus 2 in addition to your Constitution modifier, if any.
I rolled a 6.
Ooh.
So that's 9 in total because I've got a +1 Constitution.
Wow.
I will not be the one that dies. Maybe, hopefully.
Guns are really dangerous in this game. I'll say that. Okay. Attack bonus for everyone at level 1 is just a 0.
Are we level 1?
You are level 1
Yes.
to start. Yeah. Oh, 6 hit points you can see are in the upper right next to your attributes where it says hit points / major injuries. In that hex there, you write your points.
Sure. I think because I took the on target edge, it wouldn't be half of my level, it would be my level. So I'll be at 1.
Oh, that's right. On target gives you, yep, that's exactly right.
Okay.
And base attack bonus is under your skills. Then, this is a bit tricky. If you go to saving throws, which is 2 under the hit points, it's hit points, then system strain, then saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
The starting number is 16 minus your current level, so 15, but each of them lists 2 attributes. So like physical, you can see says strength or constitution. You pick the one with your best modifier and then subtract that too. You want the number to be lower because you're trying to roll over that when you're making a saving throw. So for example, if you had strength with a +1 modifier, it would be 16 minus your level of 1 minus that modifier, bringing you to 14. So for physical, you pick between strength and constitution, evasion, dex and intelligence, mental, wisdom and charisma. And luck is just 16 minus your level. So everybody's going to be 15 there.
Okay. That's not horrible. I think when I was like looking ahead, I was like, shit, is that like additive? And I was like, fuck. Like you had to add your strength and your constitution for your physical, but I prefer that you pick the one you like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if somehow you had negatives on both the relevant ones, then yeah, that's making things worse. All right, so on page 25, they have suggested gear packages. If you really want, you can take $500 and go to the equipment table starting on page 50, plus get one special item relevant to your skills worth no more than $1,000. Or you can just pick one of these packages and jot down what they have.
I'm going to choose the former. I just wrote down the $500, and the one I am greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to $1,000, and I'm just going to do it when we're done here. I'll do it.
Okay.
Take my time doing that.
Awesome.
Man, some of these are really fun. I'm just trying to think.
So here's my question about the hacker package. It says scrap cyber deck, but I already have one.
You already have one of those, yeah. I'll give you a choice. I can either find the value of that and you can have it in petty cash or buy something else, or you can upgrade it to. Oh no, those better ones are much better. It costs 10 times as much. How about you can take that as a second thing, and we'll give one of the modifiers to it that makes it a little more badass. If you decide to do that, or you take it as $500 in cash to spend on other stuff, because that's what it costs.
Oh, really? Okay, so I've already got a scrap cyber deck, and then this gives me an additional one, so I can sell that one for $500.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so what this says is 50 in remaining cash, meaning this whole package costs $450.
Except that is in each of them. There's one item that actually is not included in the budget. That's more valuable.
Oh,
that's like everybody gets their kind of specialty thing, and then in this case, it's because that would have eaten up your $500 all by itself otherwise. Yeah,
sure. And that's
right.
Well, fuck. I want to play a hacker, but I have nothing to hack with.
Well, except once you start buying cyber gear, you could get that cranial blah blah thing, but you wouldn't have the hacker computer. That's true.
Okay, so that means that if I took the hacker package, I could have I can take the hacker package plus $500 in remaining.
Exactly. Yeah. Or you could put that into something
rather.
Yeah, because it already gave you 50. Yeah.
Okay, so $550. So that means I've got the hacker package plus $550. That's what I'm doing.
The best episodes of anything is when everyone is just kind of shopping.
I kind of like that they give that kit, but yeah, if anybody wants to shop on their own time, that is just fine.
Okay.
And email me with questions about whatever.
Looking at the shorthand, like my reinforced clothing, I took the face pack. Melee armor class and ranged armor class, would that be 1310 in that instance? Like
So
right underneath says
13 melee, 10. Oh yeah, your starting armor class. Did I skip that? No, I didn't. It's if you just have normal clothing, your armor class is 10.
okay.
Which is not awesome. Reinforced clothing helps you with being punched and stabbed and whatnot, but not with being shot.
But it does at least have some damage soak.
Mm-hmm. That is nice.
Prefer to not be killable.
Sample cyberware packages. Whoa, $1,000 for a cranial jack, and I've already got one.
Jacks ain't cheap, Jack.
If all of you think as Brent starts to stack up cyber goods and you gaze upon him with jealousy, you do also have to add up your monthly maintenance. So some of those packages you could see, like they haven't even spent all the money on the first one, and it's already costing $8,000 plus a month to maintain. And you have system shock for all these goods, which can rack up pretty quickly. The Wired Edge does pay for the first 2 months of maintenance, though.
It does.
Yay.
I am looking at the drugs. This is awesome. Pharmaceuticals and street drugs. Weapon mods are cool, except I don't really see myself weaponizing very much.
Is everybody where they want to be with gear for the moment?
Yeah, my head's spinning.
I know, there's a lot of gear to choose from.
So much.
There's a lot of very cool stuff here.
If you don't have a built-in incentive on why to do crime jobs, having money to buy cool gear, I think is a good starter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, final touches. We'll go to page 26. Pick a free skill. Most of your skills come from your background, edges, and foci, but there's always room for a little personal development. You can pick any one skill of your choice to gain at level 0, or level 1 if you already have it at level 0. This doesn't have to be connected to your sense of who the character is. This is just something they chose to learn, or life forced them to learn along the way. And again, it can be any damn thing you want.
I just bumped up my exert to 1.
Nice.
Upped my notice to 1. So the skills I have currently are administer, connect, notice with a +1, program, and sneak with a +1. So I'm spy ready.
Nice.
Yeah, you are. Is that the name of your character?
Spy ready? Yeah.
Mhm.
That's one of the identities.
All right, everybody taking their bonus skill. The next one is record weapons and armor. You can jot any weapons and or armor you picked up in that step now, or if you do it later, that's fine. You can come back and do it later. There's weapons in the lower left part of the front page. And current armor is on the right side of the first page, right above the big cyberware block.
Oh, there we go.
Then it says choose starting languages. We're gonna assume that, so we're on the heavily flooded out eastern seaboard of what used to be the United States. We're gonna assume English as a common language, in part for convenience, though many other languages are spoken. And then connect or no skill levels gets you extra languages. So,
Ooh, I get an extra language.
Ooh,
Very nice.
and we can
Yay.
decide what'll be useful. Immigrant and local communities from all over the world are represented in the wash. So we can talk about, you can just note that you have extra languages for now, and we can decide what that is as we develop a little more. You can pick a name now or at some point, and then, and this is something you can think about. You don't have to have something on the spot, but a goal for your character, meaning what are they hoping to get out of a life of crime? And maybe that could be as simple as getting rich, or it could be getting revenge on a person or institution, or it could be, I don't know what. Personal motivations are wide open. That's something to ponder, and if you have one now, great. If not, and then think about ties between characters. I mean, generically, we know that you've left a life of not crime for the life as an operative. We can do something like Dungeon World and have specific ties of how you each know each other. If anybody has one to get the ball rolling, that's great. If not, we can come up with that to kick off next session after these characters have sunk in a little. All right, the two of you who have some sort of hacking, there's a whole chapter on hacking rules. You are welcome to read it if you want. Our first mission will have some hacking. It'll be a fairly short mission, so we can go slowly through the rules and all figure out what we're doing. But if you go to page 95, 95 by the standards of the book, not of the PDF. The PDF, it's page 99 on the PDF. There are lists of many verbs and some subjects. So those are, once you are in and connected, you are going to do like either stock programs or ones that your character has created to do things. And then anytime you do something, you might say, okay, I've got blind and avatar. So avatar might be like when you go into the hacking realm, there might be an avatar that's there to attack you or set off an alarm or something. You could say, okay, I'm going to hack with blind avatar so it doesn't see me. Or I'm going to try to crack into this barrier. So like it might be deactivate barrier to get into the sweet, sweet stuff beyond it.
Except I don't think you can. Deactivate is only for a device or cyber.
Ooh, okay, very good.
And so you couldn't use barrier because that's data.
Okay, good. So let's see.
Oh, wow, I learned something. Yay.
That's well done, yeah. So sabotage barrier might work then.
There you go.
Yeah, or unlock barrier would also make a lot of sense. You'll have a starting package of those. I might suggest common ones that might be useful in your first thing. And then as we move along, you can switch in and out on those. So, Brent, do you mind shopping for Cyberpunk over the next week? Or Cybertech, I mean? Because that's probably the most complicated thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll so far I'm picking up. I've got some wonderful things in my basket so far. Now the prices listed in pages what was this, 66 or so, the actual full list and not the packages.
Those prices are for new. If you want them used, you can get them at half price, but then toward the beginning of that there is a chart that shows things that go wrong.
Okay.
For each used one you get, you have to roll on that chart.
Okay. I thankfully have enough of a budget to, so far I've gotten aesthetic augmentation suite for 50K that gave me a 14 to charisma. I've essentially wired is the way to get yourself out of the underdog.
Especially since you can't use XP to do that. Yeah.
But boom.
Because of underdog.
So I've also got dermal armor, so my melee and ranged armor class is now 16, and I've got +1 to trauma target, which I don't know what that means, but okay.
It's good.
I'm also picking up muscle replacement, so my -1 strength score becomes, that's a 14 now, I suppose. That's going to be a +1. And that's still only 140K. So
I feel like this is starting to speak to your character's motivation here.
Yep. I need to own a whole district so that I can keep up with my monthly costs.
Yeah, but also like overcoming your weaknesses through technology. And I will say for our first session especially, we'll be ready to have some mulligans. So if somebody chose a piece of gear and realized, no, that doesn't really work the way you thought it did, or you realize like you've picked all the same kind of program language and that's not very versatile, we can do some substitutions on the fly, just so you don't have to stress out on picking exactly the right stuff, because that's not fun.
For my $1,000 special item, I'm spending it all on a heavy demolition charge.
Nice.
Which
never know when that might come in handy.
It's bound to come in handy at some point.
Okay, so the next steps are go ahead and round out anything that's left. Then the next session that we play this, it'll be a shorter, very kind of railroaded mission to introduce the game concepts, get a feel for it, not a lot of twists and turns. But then the game is meant to be a sandbox, but they've got a cool way to do that. The end of each session is going to be me offering up a list, or at least the beginning of that session is going to be me offering up a list of 5 potential jobs. I'm not going to flesh each of them out, but then you all decide which one you want to do. Then the following session, I will have fleshed that out, and that will be your job. The other jobs might disappear because somebody else did them or the opportunity passed. They might still be there on the table that time. Other ones will add in. At some point, if we do this for a few sessions, you might have a sense of like, oh, hey, we hate this megacorp and they've got tempting gear lying about that we think we could steal. You could start to add your own jobs into the mix. At the end of the session, then I have the following week or however long it is between sessions to flesh that out.
All right, excellent.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.